What is going on, good looking people? We are less than 2 weeks away from the CrossFit Games. We hope you are as excited as we are. Today's guest is the youngest athlete in the field. She's 19. She's juggling being a student and a CrossFit Games athlete, and she's doing a phenomenal job at it. Hayley Adams.
Well, Hayley, thank you so much for making the time this afternoon for you, morning for me.
Yes, and thanks for having me.
So I wanted to start by asking you kind of how the last 6 months has been. I know obviously for you guys as Games athletes, it's been super hard to know what's happening, when it's happening. How's that kind of affected your training? Have you been able to kind of keep motivated? Have you been training the same as you normally would have, or what's it been like for you the last 6 months?
Yeah, well, it's a little bit different now, but in March, like when all this was going on, like just starting, I was living in the dorms in college. So basically they're like, you have to get out like within a week. So ended up, I had to move all my stuff back home to North Carolina. I had literally everything I needed in North Carolina for like equipment wise, except for bumper plates. I had metal weights, so I had to do everything from the hang. So that was really the only thing. So I was very like blessed to be able to train still, and I was just doing whatever the Mayhem guys did. And then thankfully around May, I was able to come back and get an apartment. And ever since then, it's just been games training. So I've been pretty lucky throughout this whole process.
Yeah, awesome. And do you train, when you train now, do you train by yourself or do you train with the crew all the time, or how's your training look?
I train in, right now I'm in Cookeville, Tennessee. I usually just train at Rich's house. Yeah.
And how are you feeling about the new structure, the new system that they're doing with the online and then the in-person? How's that sitting with you?
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of it being online, but I understand that they're doing what they have to do. And 2020 is messed up in total for everyone, so it doesn't feel right to complain about it. So yeah, I'm just going to do my best with the cards that are going to be dealt and trust my fitness. So
At Rogue, how do you feel about your performance with Rogue, and how was that kind of online experience filming yourself and doing it with no crowd, and how did you find that with Rogue?
yeah, I was actually super happy with how I did at Rogue, just because like it was a lot of barbell and a lot of lifting. But also it was really different with not having anyone be able to cheer. I had people there, but yeah, it was super different. But they did such a good job that I would totally do something like that again. I wish it was going to be live like that. So
Yeah, well, hopefully the games do as good a job with it.
yeah.
And do you feel like, have you got an inkling as to what the workouts might be? Obviously, you guys have the equipment list now. Whether that's the final list or not, who knows? But do you kind of have an idea of what might come up, or what do you wish comes up?
I don't know. I'm kind of prepared for whatever. So the guessing game was just kind of useless for me. But it's probably going to be a lot of just your standard movements, and then maybe they'll throw something cool in there, probably. So
Yeah, for sure. And what about the games? Like, let's say you make it to the top 5. I'm not sure how many support crew you're allowed. Like, if you do make it through, do you get to take a coach or a supports person, or is it just you by yourself? What do you think will be the major kind of challenges or differences just with the 5 of you there on the ranch rather than being in a big stadium with hundreds of people?
personally, the crowd is one of the best parts about competing in person. But honestly, I'm someone that I just need someone beside me, and I'm fine. So I think that I'm sure all competitors are probably the same in that aspect too. Like, we want to beat whoever's beside of us. So I think that won't be an issue, like getting that push.
Yeah, sure. You seem like someone who can switch on pretty. Like, your game face is pretty obvious when you when you're competing. You and Sarah are like that, like just big smiles before, and then as soon as you step on the floor, it's just like game face on.
Like a switch. It's like an alter ego.
And what about you don't have any weaknesses, obviously. When you're at your level, you kind of it feels wrong to call it weaknesses, but are there any gaps or anything you've been working on particularly that you feel has been lacking in your fitness, or any particular focuses, I guess?
So my strength is just always a work in progress. I didn't come into the sport with brute strength at all. I could honestly barely lift the barbell. So like just kind of watching myself grow over the years, and I've learned to stop comparing myself to everyone because I'm my own person and it's my own journey, and I know that I'm making progress every year with it, so I can't be upset with that. And I've worked really hard this year on getting stronger and fitter, so I'm excited to put that all together.
Awesome. Are you still the youngest competitor in the field?
I think so.
How old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
19.
20? Yeah, awesome.
19.
19. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you might be the youngest still, for sure.
Yeah.
But you've been competing, how many years have you been competing in kind of the adult or the open category now?
I guess this is so I went to regionals in 2017 and 2018, but I was still competing in the teen division then. So I guess this is my second year out of the teen division into the adult division.
And what's been have you found the switch from teen competition to open competition? Like, what's the difference there? Is it quite remarkable?
Yeah, it was just honestly, I mean, thankfully I had regionals to kind of like compare to a little bit, but it's just like something you kind of just have to experience when you're out there because it's just different.
Yeah, for sure. I know some athletes have in their mind, they've got a bit of a roadmap, to the podium or to, being the crown the fittest. Have you kind of thought about, okay, this year I want to place top 10, next year top 5, and then podium and then win, or do you kind of just take it as it comes and just see where the chips fall on the day?
Yeah, I don't really like to put like those expectations on myself. I know my goals like internally. I don't feel like I need to like say it to the world. So I just kind of take it year by year and know that I'm my best at that season.
And what do you do? Do you do anything else other than CrossFit at the moment, or are you literally just focused on just eat, sleep, and breathe CrossFit, or do you do much to kind of get your head away from that a bit sometimes?
I'm in school started a few weeks ago. My classes are online, so it basically is still eat, sleep, breathe, train right now. And Sundays and Thursdays, I just kill myself with schoolwork.
And do you do any rest days, or do you just train 7 days a week?
I take Sunday off, and Thursdays recovery, but it's like an hour of cardio and then like an outdoor swim. So no, that's training.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't wait to see you compete in a couple of weeks, even though it is online. Fingers crossed we actually get to see you compete in the top 5. That'll be pretty special.
That's the goal.